There you are.
Oh, hey.
What are you doing up? Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Kind of feel like you're lying.
I've just been thinking about a lot of things lately, and I've been trying to find a way to talk to you.
Talk to me about what?
I don't know, Travis. I don't think I can do this anymore. It's too hard on me, and it's too much stress. We can barely even afford this place. How do you expect to afford a baby? It's too hard, and only one of us has a college education. In your past, and you know what I'm talking about. It's just too much.
Come here. Come here. We can do this. Look, it's been a while since I've got into trouble. I'm not the same person I used to be, I promise. Look, I'm smart. Tiff, I can go get my GED, and I can get a better job. I can work more hours. I promise. Listen, do you trust me? Really? I need you, Tiff. Please don't give up on me. I promise I won't let you both down.
Hey! What are you doing? Get off me! Somebody help me! Help!
Yo!
Help!
Get off her! Get out of here! Go! No! 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 No!
All rise. Honorable Judge Caine.
You may be seated. We're going to get through this as painlessly as possible today. So I want to start with opening arguments for the prosecution, and then we'll move to opening arguments for the defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. My name is Stephen Matthews, and I'm here on behalf of the state. Today, you have to make a very important decision. You all have to decide whether that man, Travis Miller, is someone that you want living among you. Among you, your wives, your children, your families, your loved ones. You see, Mr. Miller is here today because he's accused of having committed a very heinous crime. And that crime is having beaten a woman. Mr. Miller is a convicted felon. Now, the law of this state requires that a convicted felon cannot be found with a firearm. Now, what I just didn't tell you is that when he beat that woman, he used a pistol, a deadly weapon. And so, you're going to hear stories today about what happened that night. And what you're going to see is that there's no evidence to support the idea that anyone else other than that man could have done this heinous crime. Throughout the course of this hearing, we're going to show you evidence that will help you to see beyond a reasonable doubt that that man is guilty. And I ask you today to render a verdict in agreement with that. Thank you, Your Honor.
And now for the defense.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michael Bennett,
and today I'll be representing Travis Miller. Now, it's no secret that Mr. Miller has committed crimes in the past. He's acknowledged it, he served time for it, and he's paid his debts to society. Now, what the prosecution wants to do is focus on Mr. Miller's past crimes and try to paint a heinous picture of him. But what he won't do is tell you that Mr. Miller's been rehabilitated. Mr. Miller's full-time employed. He's heavily involved in the community. He's completed rehab and therapy programs, and even goes to church on a regular basis. Furthermore, what the prosecution won't be able to do is provide any concrete evidence which proves that Mr. Miller committed this crime against the victim. See, there's no witness statement. The victim never identified Mr. Miller as her attacker. And although a weapon was found near Mr. Miller on the scene, neither his DNA nor his fingerprints were found on the weapon. Lastly, and most importantly, when officers arrived on the scene, Mr. Miller was found bruised, battered, and unconscious. So how did this happen? The victim didn't do it. I'll tell you how this happened. Mr. Miller was telling the truth when he said he heard someone being attacked, tried to do all he could to help her in that situation, and the attacker turned on and attacked Mr. Miller. Now, the prosecution has to prove beyond all reasonable doubt that Mr. Miller's guilty of this crime. I suggest to you there is no way they can meet their burden. There are no witnesses, no fingerprints on the weapon, and no identification by the victim herself. I don't know about you, but it seems like a reasonable doubt to me. Thank you.
Are there any other witnesses you'd like to call to the stand?
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to call Mr. Samantha Miller to the stand. Good morning, Ms. Miller. Do you believe your son is innocent?
You're asking me whether or not I believe my son is innocent. Although I was not there at the scene, I do know my son. And it is true that he has had legal problems in the past, but that does not mean that he committed this crime. Again, I know my son. He is not a bad person. Travis is a good person. He's just made some bad choices in his life. I have been praying for my son. He has been living right, and I believe that he continues to live right. But to answer your question directly, I can't say, but I do believe that he is innocent.
Thank you, Ms. Miller. No further questions. Mr. I know this is strange, but I think it's in your best interest to get on the stand.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure, man.
I don't know, man. I'm scared. I don't want to say anything. I don't want to go back to jail.
Listen, there's nothing to be scared of. You know his game plan. He's gonna try to bring up your past and use it against you. Just get up there and tell the truth.
All right.
Man, you got this, man. All right.
Are there any other witnesses you'd like to call to the stand?
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to call Travis Miller.
Now, Mr. Miller, would you be willing to tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury exactly why you decided to commit this vicious crime?
Objection. Leading question, Your Honor.
I'll rephrase. Mr. Miller, where were you on the night of October 10th?
I was there. I saw the entire thing.
So you don't deny that you were there?
Yeah, I was there.
So what happened? You just decided to go out and find some kind of trouble to get into?
Objection, Your Honor.
Watch it, Mr. Matthews.
My apologies, Your Honor. Mr. Miller, why was the victim's DNA found on your clothing? And while you're answering that, why were your hands covered with her blood?
I was on my way home and I saw someone being attacked. What else was I supposed to do?
You couldn't call the police? Was there nobody else around who could help you?
It was pure instinct. I saw the woman being beaten and I just couldn't leave her there.
Is that uncommon for somebody with your history?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. Answer the question, Mr. Miller.
Look, I know I've made some mistakes in my past, but the things that I've done, it doesn't mean that's who I am now. I'm involved in a church, I go to counseling, and I've completed a lot of rehabilitation classes. All so I don't have to end up in that life again.
Mr. Miller, since you're such a saint, please tell the ladies and gentlemen of the jury exactly why there was a loaded weapon found next to you.
Order. Order. This is still a court.
You know what? Don't answer that. No further questions, Your Honor.
At this time, we're going to release for a short recess.
All rise.
At this time, we're going to release the jury for deliberation and changes.
Your Honor, before you release the jury, may we approach?
Objection, Your Honor. The jury has already been released to deliberate, and the defense has rested its case.
Your Honor, I have clear and convincing evidence of prosecutorial misconduct by Mr. Matthews.
Both of you approach.
Your Honor, I have evidence right here of a Brady violation. Mr. Matthews was given this evidence that would exonerate my client well over 2 weeks ago and decided not to tender it over.
Mr. Matthews, how do you plan to proceed with the prosecution in light of this new evidence? Some very nasty things could be exposed.
Your Honor, we plan to proceed. The laws of this state and the people require a conviction. The man is guilty as sin. He was found at the scene with blood on his hands.
The jury's released for deliberation.
Thank you, Your Honor.
In light of the judgment given by the jury, I'm declaring a judgment notwithstanding the verdict and reversing the decision of the jury. Although it's rare, I cannot allow such an injustice to take place in my court. I'm citing State versus Davidson, which provides that a judge may reverse the verdict of a jury if he or she believes that no reasonable jury could have reached that verdict. Mr. Miller, although your peers may have found you guilty, I find no fault in you and declare you not guilty. You're a free man.